The Atherton Tablelands behind Cairns in North Queensland is one of the most picturesque places in the country. Located southwest of Cairns, it is known for its cattle grazing, agriculture and iconic landmarks. When it comes to motorcycle riding, it's also known for its amazing network of roads perfect for adventure bike riding and the famous Gillies Range. Back in 2019, I did some adventure bike tyre comparisons on the GS. We ended up making a video about it. We did that in the Silver Valley area, which is a part of an incredible network of roads that shoot out from Cairns through the Tablelands like the splayed fingers of a hand. There's the Rex Range up north near Mossman, the Kuranda Range directly out of Cairns, the Palmerston Highway to the south near Innisfail, and the famous Gillies Range that heads southwest from Gordonvale. Those main roads that take people northwest and south are connected by dirt roads that crisscross back and forth and create a web-like network perfect for adventure bike riding. The Gillies Range is the pick of them. It's got everything. Long sweeping corners, fast twitchy chicanes, double apex turns, uphill and downhill. It's a great place to take your motorcycle or sports car for a cruise. It's so good, the range was closed and used as a time section in the recent Targa Barrier Reef races. In the morning it was an uphill run, and in the afternoon it was a timed downhill run.
Initial planning for the Gillies Range Road began in September 1922 when the Eacham allocated £10,000 from unemployment relief funds to build a road connecting Gordonvale to Atherton via the nearest range. Construction commenced in March 1925 with around 150 men working on the project. The road officially opened on the 10th of July in 1926, cutting travel time between Cairns and the Tablelands to about 2.5 hours. Originally named Cairns Range Road, it was renamed the Gillies Highway in March 1934 in honor of William Gillies, a former premier and local member of government. Traffic control was necessary because the initial road was single lane. Vehicles alternated direction according to timetable gates known as the top gate and bottom gate. The full length of the route from Gordonvale to Atherton spans about 56 kilometers. The terrain is steep, curvy, and unforgiving, historically challenging for trucks and motorists alike, especially in wet conditions and limited visibility. The most dramatic section is a 19-kilometer climb with 263 corners and around 800 meters of elevation gain from the coastal plain to the Tablelands Plateau. For Yungaburra, formerly known as Alumba Pocket, opening of the road in 1926 was transformational. It allowed the first ever traffic from Gordonvale to the Tablelands and sparked a tourism boom, including expansion of the Lake Eacham Hotel and development of local community infrastructure like its hall and lodging. Towns like Yungaburra became key destinations, supported by lakeside visitor services, projection show halls, and guest accommodations, all emerging in direct response to easier access. The route remains one of Australia's most legendary mountain roads. The climb is still famous for its technical driving, made up of 263 bends, 800 meters of elevation through slippery, narrow, rainforest-lined grade. This is one reason why it was included as a competition section in the Barrier Reef Targa race. In short, the Gillies Highway was built swiftly during the 1920s Great Depression era to contest rival Kuranda proposals, dramatically improving access to the Atherton Tablelands. Its engineering, hat-tip to its 263 corners and dramatic climb, set its reputation. It reshaped towns like Yungaburra into tourist hubs and still commands respect as one of the toughest mountain roads in Queensland.
Mate, I love the corners down the bottom, the initial corners where you can really start to get into it, particularly during something like Targa, when you've got the whole road closed and you've got the whole thing to yourself. That's awesome. Bikes are awesome too. There's nothing beats coming up there in an angry car. The camber on some of the corners, particularly up the top, when you get to use the whole get to use both lanes. Just amazing the way a car can hook into the corners and knowing there's nobody coming the other direction. And yeah, just a different experience to a bike.
The Gillies Range can be broken into a number of parts. From the overtaking lane before you enter the range to the first range overtaking, it's a series of flowing turns, many with blind exits, that wind their way up to a ridge where the range turns back on itself. The hillside is on the left for this section. Once you pass through the first overtaking area, the road runs along the edge of the mountain with the hillside now on the right side. This section is a combination of tight and open turns that work their way further up the mountain to the middle overtaking lanes. The middle overtaking lane appears after a series of tight turns and then leads onto a sequence of long straights that end with a run of fast chicanes. Those back and forth bends really test the driver and rider's ability to turn their machine quickly. It then opens back up for the final run to the top of the range. Heels Lookout signals the end of the uphill climb, an entry into the jungle area that takes you through to the other side of the range. There's an overtaking lane a kilometre or so from the lookout that leads into a series of flowing turns that guide you to the end of the windy part of the road. This is my favourite part of the range. As you exit the range at the Top Gate Monument, the road opens up and you get to see the incredible sights of the Tablelands proper. It is spectacular. The final stop for us is the Gillies Cafe, positioned perfectly for anyone driving up or down the range to drop in for a coffee and breakfast. The food and the coffee is great there, as is the service.
Well, nowhere near often enough. You know, I had to retire so I could ride it more often. But yeah, maybe once or twice a week.
About 3 times, roughly, at least.
I ride as often as I can, 3 times at least, sometimes 4.
As often as humanly possible, but at least a couple of times a week.
Oh, I started when I was, 17 years old, but I had a bit of time off with the kids and started again in 2004.
14 years.
34 years.
Oh, I like the bottom bit up to the first overtaking area. The corners are always clean and flowing, and yeah.
My favourite part is the chicanes. Love the top half when it's really dry. Lots of nice tight little corners. Absolutely love it.
Mate, I love the corners down the bottom, the initial corners where you can really start to get into it.
Actually, the whole lot of it's, I can't see anything bad. After riding in Brisbane, Gold Coast, and that sort of area, the roads down there are shocking. And to come up here and ride this, the main reason I moved to Cairns, actually.